I gotta be honest, the only reason I know anything about this band is because of two things. That one song where it's like building up, and then it just goes run. And like there's a sick breakdown after that. And then of course the other thing that this band did was hello there, hey there, hi. Welcome, my fellow wannabes. Welcome to my channel. I am Gabriel Fast, and as you may know, I am the wannabe critic. Today we are reviewing an album by Awolnation. It is called Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders. Now, obviously I usually like to start these videos off with somewhat of a little joke, and I do have to say that I haven't kept up with Awolnation the past few years. It was, kind of getting more and more popular around 2013, 2014 is kind of whenever they kind of got on my horizon, so to speak. I've never been a huge fan, like most people, and of course I always enjoyed Sail just as much as the next person, and that Run song is kind of funny. But as far as like keeping up with them as like just like a modern rock alternative band, whatever, on iTunes they're listed as alternative, which I would say is probably pretty accurate, to be honest. I haven't really kept up with them that much. First things first, I do have to say, I did enjoy my time with this album. I listened to it like 4 times. I wasn't ever like completely hooked in. From the very beginning, the first song is okay, I would say. Then as the album progresses, it starts to kind of pick up a little bit, and I do have to say my favorite track on the record is Pacific Coast Highway and the Movies, which features Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. They're just this little band. You might have heard of them. On paper, this album should be like a Gabe album, you know what I mean? Because there's some psychedelic elements and things like that that are kind of woven in, as well as surprisingly like some metal-ish, hard rock-ish vibes being incorporated onto this record. And the band obviously has rock roots, but it definitely seems like these guys have kind of gone the more mainstream pop route, which has probably always been their goal, is like, hey, let's have this kind of like pop band with like a rock alternative like backbone to it. And I'd say, they're going to kind of capture a bigger audience with this record inherently because of the type of music that it is. That being said, it's not anything that I just find to be super duper compelling or have any sort of depth, so to speak. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's nice to kind of have some music on in the background. I don't necessarily want to pay attention to every single thing that the person is saying. I kind of just want there to be noise, or it's good driving music, things like that. I do have to say, there were times in this record where I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, yeah, I like this. I have no idea what this song is supposed to mean. I have no idea what this guy is trying to say, but it sounds good, it feels good, and at the end of the day, it's just kind of a poppy experience. That being said, I said before, I listened to it several times. There isn't any song that sticks out. I don't remember how any of the songs go. There's nothing super duper memorable about this album, except for the fact that I remembered that Rivers Cuomo was on one of the songs, and I did enjoy that song. But I mean, if you had to play me one of these, I would be like, what is that from? And it would come back to me, oh, I remember this. At that point, it kind of becomes one of those things. But there's not really anything on this album that has the same kind of grab that Sail had, or has the same type of feeling that any of their other popular songs, well, the other song, the Run song, that they've actually had in the past. There's nothing like that on here. There's nothing that stands out. It kind of all just blends together. And like I said, that's not always a bad thing, and I don't think they're necessarily trying to be the most, meaningful, influential band in the world, but still, it'd be nice to kind of have a little bit of diversity whenever it comes to that. In the end, I think this album is perfectly fine for background music. I think if you listen to it, you're going to have a good time. I don't really... The musicianship is really good. They're all really talented musicians. The lead singer has an awesome voice. They have a really cool sound. It kind of reminds me... You remember that band Phoenix? Kind of reminds me of like whenever Phoenix kind of started to get a following, and then just over time their sound started to change. And that happens with a lot of bands, but I don't know, like this band has something different, or they had something different at one time, but now they've definitely just they haven't really ever they've never really been able to recreate that initial feeling that whenever I listened to them, which is kind of always the trick, I guess, of the music industry. In the end, I think this is perfectly fine. In the background, I would say definitely stream it. I'm not going to buy this on vinyl. I definitely wouldn't buy this record. I would just you know, you're going to stream it for a week and then you're going to forget about it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you disagree with me, let's fight in the comments below. Just kidding, I'm not going to fight with you, but you're more than welcome to express your opinion here. After all, we're all wannabes. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for preparing yourselves for a plethora of hot takes and potentially unpopular opinions. I'm Gabriel Fast. I will always be the wannabe critic.